intro and go. Thanks for watching. Hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host Keegan, and this is your podcast for recovery. I almost went down the old rabbit hole, and boy, oh boy, let me tell you what, it's been a long journey, and not in a bad sense, mind you. It's actually been more than I ever could have dreamed of, and that's amazing. So, really, if you're tuning in, first of all, thank you. And if you're wondering what is the title about, why is Retrieving Sanity being retired? Well, let me tell you. So, the thing is, whenever I started this podcast, I had literally zero idea of how a podcast should go. I had no idea what they really sounded like, and I wasn't even a fan of podcasts. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not that I hated them. I just didn't understand them because I was in such a weird spot in my life that I wanted everything to distract me from my inner world, and hearing people talk about certain things would just kind of leave me able to dive into myself and not really listen to what other people were saying, if that makes sense. Like, music is more of a distraction, but it's also something that is healing in many regards. I digress. So, with that being said, whenever I came up with Retrieving Sanity, it was very much oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah, super unique, super in, intuitive, not really, but it was something that me and my roommate Simba thought was really cool. And then Brian also agreed with it. And so, again, this was originally supposed to be a three-person podcast of sorts. And then Simba relapsed. Sorry, didn't know if I should put that out there, Simba, but he relapsed and then went back to Nehemiah. And then Brian didn't want anything to do with it because of the drama that was going on at Oxford at the time with me being stupid. And so it was just a me thing. So I just ran with it. And boy, oh boy, if you, anyone that has watched those previous episodes, thank you for just sticking around and putting up with that because holy shit, they were no, not like no wonder no one really wanted to listen to it, right? And that's the thing is that I didn't know how my audio should sound. I didn't know how the equipment worked, and also having subpar equipment was definitely a bad thing too because I would sit there and I'd say something and it would take a second before I heard my monitor, and so I was interrupting myself talking and thinking and making sure that everything was just right because I was still fighting my perfectionist wounds, which, let's be honest, I still kind of am, but I was letting them hinder me in such a way that I didn't know what the hell I was going to do if I didn't get everything just right. In any of my solo episodes, even the 15 or 20-minute ones, I would sit there and would do the same thing probably about 5 times before in one take to make sure that I got it just right and then try to edit it still. And let me tell you, that was terrible. Whenever I got picked up by the radio station, oh, trying to do an hour episode in one take, super bad idea. Never ever try that unless you're okay with just letting stuff like little mishaps and mistakes fly and being able to figure out how to edit those out. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I've learned editing inside and out as best as I can teach myself while working a full-time job that's completely and utterly irrelevant and not aligned with who I am and what I believe in. So, with that being said, I've learned a lot in this whole podcasting journey, and Retrieving Sanity just it probably was more for myself, not ego, mind you. It was probably more for the whole let's figure out how to get me settled, how to get me situated in recovery because it's a brand new world and Aladdin isn't here and a magic carpet sure as hell is not about to show up to take me off to a new world. I don't know what the hell that was supposed to mean. Anyways, so with that, it came to my attention that, some people can get their message out there really well. And you have people out there that are YouTube SEO experts and podcast production specialists and promoters and blah 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 blah. Yeah, cool. I got it. I got it. Like, yeah, I'm not doing something right. And it's not that I'm trying to get more views or downloads per se. I'm trying to reach the audience. And if people are typing in recovery or mental health wellness or guidance, they're not going to find Retrieving Sanity because, oh, let me tell you. So there's this podcasting app, Oshua. They're a hosting platform, but they also have this. Uh, it's kind of like a comparison chart of sorts, and it shows you where you wind up in regards to your keywords and what your show's topic is about. Whenever I was at Podcast Movement 2025, I had a chance to try that, and guess what? Retrieving Sanity didn't show up at all. And for the last several months, I've just been sitting here trying my best to be like, all right, get discoverable, find the right audience. I know who my audience is, but they can't find me if they're not going to type in Retrieving Sanity, because let's be honest, it's not something a lot of people are going to think of whenever they say how to stop drinking alcohol, how to stop doing meth, and so on and so forth. So what we're doing is we're doing a rebrand. It's still recovery focused. The episodes are going to be more concise and hopefully less blah blah blah, whatever that's supposed to mean. But the thing is that the first thing that I've got to do is come up with a name. So I had to cross-reference a whole bunch of things, and I think I got it. I think I got the name because there's not really anything called it, but it's right online. And I actually had help from a wonderful friend, and honestly, he was one that was like, "Yeah, what about this name?" And I was like, "Let's change one word in that," and I think it's perfect. So, uh, sorry. I also came up with a new cover art all by myself. The font and stuff is from defont.com and whatnot. And I used Krita. So I'm learning all sorts of new stuff while I'm still learning. It's great. But with that being said, I do want to kind of share what I am talking about because I think that it's honestly really cool. It's both inspired by the tarot and what the journey in addiction to recovery actually looks like in a sense. Speaking in symbols. Yeah, that. So, anyways, here's what I've come up with, and I would love your feedback and let me know what you might change if this was yours, or what I should add or subtract to make it more clickable. And don't worry, this isn't the final draft. This is, I mean, it could be, but if I aim for that perfectionist thing, then I'm never going to get anywhere with it because it'll never quite be perfect. So, without further ado, boom, there we go. So, ta-da! The new rebrand, whenever we get there, it's probably going to be first week of April, mid-April, but guidance in recovery. And if you couldn't tell, it's inspired by the Hermit tarot card. So, yeah, I want it to be kind of dark because in addiction, it feels like it's dark. And in traumas, whenever we're in those cycles, it feels like everything is dark. But I've got a lantern and stuff that I added. So, hopefully, that thumbnail or cover art is going to make some people go, "Oh, what the hell is that about?" Click. And with the name, it's way more aligned. It's very much like how to do recovery. Retrieving Sanity was very much a how do make recovery happen. But this is now going to be like, hey, now that you're kind of here, let's figure this out a little bit more. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do exactly. But for the time being, again, it's still recovery based. We're not losing our focus on recovery. If we did that, my recovery may be in jeopardy. I'm not saying that my recovery is dependent on this podcast, but holy hell, it helped a lot. So, again, if you want to watch the early stuff, by all means, go watch it. Go cringe. Go be like, ugh, who would even keep doing that and think it's good? Me, because I'm trying. I was learning. But that's the thing too, is that I can't shame myself over what I did in the past because I'm not very happy with it. In fact, I am proud of it because I kind of stuck with it for 3+ years. Even if the beginning stuff was not A+ material, it's been able to be refined to something that is at least passable to go on local radio and TV stations and an OTT platform. So I can't really complain. But that's the thing, is that those accolades are cool. They're awesome. The achievements are achievements, but the audience is still the thing that I'm lacking. And it's not so much like I want 50,000 downloads in a month. Don't get me wrong, that'd be cool. But what I'm wanting is people to say, hey, thank you for putting out this episode because I really needed to hear it right now because holy hell, I'm in a dark spot. And so or your story really resonated and made me see that I'm not alone. That's what I'm aiming for. Because in my addiction, I knew how fucking desperate I was for hearing that I wasn't alone in a lot of things and how I could make it out and how I would be better off without alcohol and how I would be better off facing some things and dealing with uncomfortable emotions. But we don't all talk about that. So that's what guidance and recovery is going to be about. It's going to be about how to just do a recovery a little bit more. Retrieving Sanity, it's a pretty cool name. It was nice. It had Liam as a logo. Liam will still be a logo for Retrieving Sanity Studios, which is the freelance studio stuff that I'm trying to do and everything. Woohoo! So if you know anyone that needs some help editing their stuff, let me know. And I mean, at the same time, I'm just trying to help out where I can. And I don't necessarily know what that's going to look like in 2 years, 3 years. And let's be honest, with the way everything is going in the world right now, holy shit, a lot of people are about to turn to some vices to get away from the world because fuck, it is not good. So we're just going to be here for those people afterwards and during and so on and so forth. I mean, there's nothing else we can really do besides watch out for ourselves and help those around us whenever we can, whenever they let us. And Retrieving Sanity was very much a like, hey, we're going to go get it, and right now you're coming with blah, 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 blah. And because you had to know the name of the show if you wanted to find it. Don't get me wrong, if you look up Retrieving Sanity on Google, I'm the first like 4 pages, like all of it. It's amazing. It's cool. And like I never thought that would happen. But that's the thing, is that if you look up recovery podcasts, if you look at mental health podcasts, anything like that, Retrieving Sanity doesn't even make a blip. It's like, oof, huh. And that's the thing, is, don't get me wrong, there's some amazing podcasts out there, like Shit That Goes On in Our Head with Gretchen Shozer or G-Rex, and I forgot her co-host name. I want to say it starts with an L, and I'm not going to butcher a name that I can't remember off the top of my head. So we're just going to call her Gretchen. We're just going to call them the wonderful co-host. How about that? Don't get me wrong, there's wonderful podcasts already out there and everything, but that's the thing, is that I want to make one that is specifically for recovery, that people can sit there and be like, hey, I saw this awesome podcast or heard this awesome podcast, and they can send it to their friend that is struggling with whatever that episode topic is about. Because right now, the best one is overcoming kratom addiction, which, don't get me wrong, is amazing. Matt is a fantastic guy. He's helped out over 5,000 people, and several people have come through, gone through, but have found him because of that episode, or episodes at this point. But that's the thing, is that how can we make that same kind of impact for other people? It's the only episode that I've really gotten feedback on saying, I needed to hear this. This is what is going to give me hope out of this situation. And that was what made these 2+ years, whenever I first got that comment, worth it. That is what I want, to just help other people realize that there is still hope. Life is okay, even if it doesn't fucking feel like it. Like, it's nuanced, it's paradoxical, it's very, very fucked in some regards, but at the same time, it's also so beautiful and so crazy. Just, ah, sometimes words don't describe it because of how just fantastic it can be. Whenever we're lost in our addictions, whenever we're devastated by our traumas, then we don't really have a whole lot that really does anything to show us otherwise. Whenever we're sitting there and alone, isolated, it feels like nothing is going to come and save us. That life would be better off without us. In fact, that we're a waste. And I don't want anyone to feel like that. So I've been there. I know what it feels like. And it sucks. I, I just don't want people to feel like that. I know that it's part of my fixer ish complex, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, why not do something with my life? I've squandered so much of it that it I'm still trying to not kick myself about it because lived experience and all that, and I can help out people because I'm uniquely qualified and shit. And it's like cool, but sometimes it just doesn't feel like enough, if that makes sense. But I don't know if I want to do this or not. I could show you all the trailer that I made for it. Um, so, I mean, uh, you know what? Well, should we? Should we? It's 2 minutes. I don't want to waste y'all's time with that. So, we've already gone over the 15-minute mark, and I got the biggest news out of the way. Retrieving Sanity is being retired in a few weeks, probably maybe a month or two. Not 2 months, but at least a month, because I've got plenty of guests I need to still talk to where the topic or the guest content may not be as aligned as I'm trying to get it for guidance and recovery. And I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just aiming for, hey, we're trying to be pinpoint precise a little bit more with what we touch on, how we touch on it, and what we cover so that other people can really relate. And it's not just like, oh, going down some random ass rabbit hole. Don't get me wrong, I love those conversations and I love seeing where it all goes. But whenever we don't really have something to say, this is the topic of the episode, it's like, oh, it's a conglomeration of different topics. Like looking at the chapters, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Man, there should maybe be like 5 or 6 chapters, not 20. So we're trying to just spruce it up a little bit, make it a little bit more tight all the way around, and hopefully someone gets a little bit something out of it one way or another. And I hope someone's gotten something out of it this too, because shush, Dallas Public Library, whatever. Sorry, I also need to go through my podcast pre-flight checklist and make sure phone is on silent and watch is kind of on do not disturb. So just if you're starting a podcast, keep at it. They say that, what is it, only like 8% of podcasts make it past a certain, not, I forget the exact numbers, but if you started a podcast, keep going, because if you want to end up in the 1 percentile, you have to reach like episode 100 plus, and it's hard, but it's so fucking worth it, and you'll learn a lot along the way. Now, I can sit here and say, edit all your stuff, but that's me and my experience. That's how I learned. That's how I was able to go, I really need to stop saying and so and then, but, and just all these other weird filler words that I'll say sometimes. So I wouldn't have caught that unless someone either pointed it out to me or I caught it on my own, because I'm trying to not critique myself to death, but trying to refine everything to make it more palatable for the audience, you. So what I really want to let y'all know is that I've loved this journey through and through. We're not over, it's not ending, but it is changing course just a little bit. The ship's going to be a little bit different. It's going to have a new sail, and hopefully we're going to hit different ports a lot faster. So just share the word that guidance and recovery is coming. If those that are struggling with any kind of addiction or traumas, we're going to be here to help them out. So just let them know, help is on the way. And until Guidance and Recovery is a full reboot, then go ahead and just hit Retrieving Sanity. And we're going to keep the website up for probably a while until I feel like rebuilding a whole brand new one. And that's going to be, because I've got over 100 guest mini profiles on there. And boo, man, I'm not about to hire someone to rebuild all that. Holy. Anyways. So if you've got a podcast of your own, keep going. Try to refine yourself as best you can. But the important thing is just have fun with it, because you'll never, ever know where it's going to go if you just keep going. Don't stop don't stop 5 miracles before the minute. Don't stop 5 minutes before the miracle. There we go. Because you never, ever know what's around the corner. And if you think you do, then maybe you just need to kind of let go of some expectations. Growth is usually asking us one thing, and it's to let go of something or to embrace something new. Change. Boy, scary stuff. So just do your best. And if you stuck out this whole episode, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And again, if you've watched any amount of Retrieving Sanity in the past, I also thank you more than what words could ever offer. I can offer you a shiny rock. How about that? That sounds good. So let's just embrace change together. Let's embrace growth and a bright future, and try to make our world, our bubble, as best and as peaceful as we can be, because that's how we're going to help those around us as well. So with that being said, try to love yourself, love others if you can, but you got to try to love yourself first. Be the favorite version of yourself that you can be today. And I mean, I'll have to come up with a new sign off too, I guess. I don't know. But episode format is going to change and everything like that. Just a smidgen. So we'll see y'all in the future. Be excited for it, because I know I am. And I can't wait to see you in Guidance and Recovery. Till then, much love. Schlan. Oh, if you've also been wondering what that means, that's bye in Irish.